We got to start with what came down late last night was the news that there's no Messi, there's no Suarez,
Ew.
there's no Busquets coming to Vancouver for the big match on Saturday. And of course, there's been a massive shitstorm because of this. And I'm want to hear your thoughts. I'm kind of torn. It's bullshit for the Whitecaps. They're in a tough situation. 55,000 people expected from that match. The fans, I understand why they're pissed off. But listen, football isn't a traveling circus, right? It's football. And the Whitecaps, Miami aren't obligated to bring certain players. It looks bad. I get it. I'm playing kind of devil's advocate here. But I mean, how bad a move is this for Inter Miami? Or are they within their rights, Craig?
Oh, they're totally within the rights. And it doesn't surprise me that he's not playing, but it does surprise me a bit that he's not going. I know the whole rest thing, and I get it. And obviously travel is a big factor. It's a long way to go. But it is a big year for Vancouver, 50th anniversary, the growth of the game, where the Whitecaps sit as far as culturally the growth of the game in Canada, but not only that, in the United States, the old North American Soccer League, the history, what they've done for the game. I just thought that it would be classy of him just to show up, do the warm-up, sit on the bench, do nothing. Or at least send Suarez and Busquets, right? Like, there's nobody going. It's just a real deflating situation for Vancouver, which really deserve better. But the whole structure again of the league, it allows this because Miami doesn't need to win. It's not like in Europe or anywhere else in the world where you have to win. So that 3 points may be important. It's not really that important to Miami because playoffs they're going to make, and that's where you got to turn it on. So it's kind of like the MLS dance, the regular season, and then the real show starts when the playoffs do.
I think if they had a grass pitch, they would be showing up and they would be playing. And I think that's part of the reason as well, is that a lot of the time these players, when they come, they don't want to play on artificial turf.
Well, there's that, but at the same time, he's played on artificial before, and if it's a playoff game, he will be playing on it. And I've seen some of the best players play some pretty nice football on turf too. When they talk about the turf being a problem, I've seen some pretty impressive football on artificial before.
Don't you think Vinny Sartini and true fans of Vancouver are really happy they're not facing Leo Messi, Luis Suarez, and Sergio Busquets?
It adds pressure. Now they got to win.
Yeah. But I mean, like, a way better chance to win now for a team that needs 3 points. It's a bigger game for them. Shouldn't Vancouver be celebrating this?
Well, they need a big result, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's a tiny thing, right? And in the grand scheme of things. And I also think that talking about the turf, I'm amazed that BC Place still doesn't have turf.
It's time, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, especially given the landscape of Canadian soccer and the lack of stadiums and the infrastructure that have grass fields, right? But I think I think that's a little bit overly simplistic, but if you look at Miami's schedule, so they have Vancouver, then they have Atlanta on the 29th, and then they have St. Louis just before the international break. So I think travel is the big one. So you're saying, okay, why don't they just send them, even if they're not going to play? Like, you still have to make that cross-country trip, right? I mean, that's a tremendous, that will have a tremendous impact on these players. So I think it was more, you could have looked at the schedule at the beginning of the year and predicted this. I think you hope that they come, despite, what it means for them projected long-term. But I think if you look at these guys, and Messi in particular, if, he's going to be at Copa, he's going to be playing with Argentina, like, that is his primary motivation at this point as they approach this window. So I think that is the most influential piece of all of these factors.
Do you think Miami give a shit about the Copa?
They do, by way of Messi.
Yeah.
And therefore they do. But Inter Miami as a club, no, probably not.
No.
But
they care about their asset.
I guess so. It's difficult, this one. I don't know why. Leo Messi should be playing in every game he can. Now, from a travel standpoint, league rules, would they allow him to travel by a private jet, for example, separate from the team? I'm not sure how the league rules work, CBAs, etc., etc.
Well, they're chartering anyway, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not as if he's going to be crammed into an Air Transat with no legroom. He's small to begin with.
You think his feet touch the ground?
I don't think so. His legs will swing, right? This whole travel thing, I get it. It's not ideal for an athlete, but it's not like it used to be. It's not like, Canada soccer flying 6'5" Craig Forrest from Europe to Honduras, in coach. It's kind of different. And that's not about, it's more than just legroom. I get that.
Yeah, but it's the travel and then the next fixture being right there, right? And then what that means for your team in terms of your preparation. So if Messi can hang out and he can have a couple of days, post, I don't think they played DC their last game, if I'm not mistaken, which they won 1-0. So, I mean, you have a couple days of rest and then ramp up your training, get some intense stuff, because again, he's got his eye on a little bit further down the road, and then he can taper towards the next game. And so he's ready, he's fresh, versus coping with the demands of the travel and everything that means in terms of your rest and your recovery and your performance.
I get why Messi, what did Craig say? I get why that Messi can't play every game, but at least show up, in my opinion. Whitecaps have a history like few others in North America. And I think it's best wrapped up by Joel Lefebvre, Joel at BB Can. And we paid $300 or more to see him when single tickets are 50th at most. And they're only that much because of Messi. But they're really shortchanging Vancouver fans, but by not having Suarez or Busquets travel either. They've really done us dirty.
That's the thing. It's still three of them, right?
The fans, right, are just going to be, you pay 300 bones, so probably like 6 times more than you normally pay. And then these guys don't show up. It's not a good look. And we talked about this earlier in the season where we knew that Messi wasn't going to play every games and they were going to screw over maybe smaller markets, maybe, longer travel. We knew this was a play and everyone just kind of went, not you guys, but we all kind of went, oh, well, we'll deal with it. Well, now you're dealing with it. And it's not a good look because we knew it was going to happen.
Have they traveled to Seattle yet or Portland? I'm looking at their schedule here. When's that? I bet they made that trip.
It's 6.5 hour flight. I just looked that up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. No wonder he's not going.
Well, that's the point. I mean, it is also buyer beware, right, Jimmy? It is a little bit buyer beware. It's football. You're not guaranteed to see who you want to see.
Right.
And say they travel. And so, I don't know, personally, so you see Leo Messi sitting on the bench. Is that worth $300?
We should blame the fans for having hope that he would show up. You deserve this. Buyer bewares.
But from Inter Miami's perspective, they don't owe the Vancouver fans anything.
No, they don't.
And I agree with that fans' expression of, feeling frustrated and we've shelled out X amount of dollars and they're going to be rested. I understand that. And yet Miami's focused on their record, on managing the loads of their stars and seeing it out through the end of the season.
It was always going to be a possibility. And listen, the MLS don't care about Vancouver, unfortunately. It is a small market for them. It's wrong. I don't like it. Sucks for Canadian football. But that's the reality. It won't be in Montreal either to end the season. Sorry, TFC, sorry. Right? It won't mean anything. Even though it's an easier flight. Same thing. Don't spend lots of money on that match because there's a good chance they won't play. There's an international window around there as well, right? Into the season.
Sharm's doing a lot of MLS ticket sales.
Yeah, the TFC ticket team's going to be calling you, Sharms.
I know. Well, you know what? They want to sponsor our show, then I'll have a different tact.
Yeah, then you'll be going, buy the tickets. He's coming.
Exactly. My sources tell me. There's a very little chance he'll be playing at BMO Field in the season. So if you want to spend $1,000 on a ticket for the off chance that he might, go right ahead. But then don't whine when he's not here. Yeah. You've been forewarned.
Look at this guy.
Isn't it right though, Jimmy? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would you spend $1,000 on a ticket last game of the season when they've already qualified for the playoffs?
No.
When there's an international window around there?
No. For a 50-50 chance? No.
He's just human, people. He's like you and I. He's human. He's nothing bigger. In fact, he's smaller, literally smaller than us.
It'd probably be cheaper to fly down to Miami and watch him play down there.
Yeah,
than
do
to
that.
get a
It's
beam
fun.
off.
I did that. It's fun. Definitely
All by
cheaper.
yourself.
No, my wife did. She was there with me.
Yeah, there was
Sure,
no pictures.
Sharp.
There was no pictures confirming that she was with you. Son.
That's right.
We had fun with Sharps going alone to Miami
I
all by
know you did.
himself on his birthday.
I heard that podcast.
Yeah, here's your
by the way.
birthday. It's just one ticket. You just go find yourself and have fun.
Go have some
Would that be a bad thing necessarily, guys?
No.
No.
Kind of creepy though. You don't know the city. You're just sitting in the hotel room going, "Ugh, I gotta make friends quick."
People do travel by themselves.
Yeah, not on their birthday.
Now, some people go to movies by themselves, which is really weird.
Oh, I do that.
Well, that explains everything, doesn't it?
Why is that
come on.
weird?
Oh,
I
come
love
on, you
going
can't be
to
Well,
doing
it'd be
by
a bit
myself.
weird if you see Wonger just pull up beside you by himself.
What kind of movie are we talking about?
that. Empty theater and Wonga sits right beside you.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say that's the only weird thing is when that happens. Like quasi empty theater and someone doesn't leave a buffer and sits right next to you. You're like, really? Really?
I have
Wonger
a
and
T-shirt
Herman.
that says I have a T-shirt that says I'm ambidextrous.
Sit either side.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, God. Why is there a hole in that popcorn bag?
That's right.
Yeah. I'll go with the side where the finger isn't.
Might get trapped.
Oh,
Like a
God.
bar
We're
fish hook.
off the rails today.
It really is, yeah.